Welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lakes, and it is cold outside.
It's chilly.
It is.
It's chilly. A little bit brisk.
It is. We always say that real estate sales slow down in wintertime,
Yes.
because people don't want to be out and about. This is like the coldest weekend that we've had.
It is, but we've been fortunate this winter. It's been pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
we just had, our snow blast. We've got our ice blast. The end is in sight. Let's put it that way. We're almost out of it. Hallelujah.
We're like 60 days away from spring break, so
Rock on.
So yeah, the countdown is on.
The countdown
for sure.
is on.
Yes. All right. Well, we have been talking a lot about what's going to happen in 2022. So I think our predictions are, going to be true.
Yeah, I think we'll see, but the reality is now the right time for a buyer to be buying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the show last week we talked about that. I'm going to talk about it again because if you really need to evaluate your why. Why am I looking to buy?
Mm-hmm.
What's your reasoning behind buying? Well, so for 2022, what are the predictions and how does that tie in with your why, and is it a good time for you? Well, are home prices going to go up? Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, they are not going to go down.
They've been trending up for a couple of years.
They've been trending up high. I mean, when you see 15% year over year, I think that's what our end of the year analysis came out.
Yeah.
So predictions for this year, 5-6% price increase year over year.
Yeah.
So for a buyer, if you're going to buy earlier in the year to take advantage of that.
Okay.
If you're a seller, it's still good. I mean, it may not be quite as good as last year, right? As far as the market goes, as far as appreciation goes, but it's still a good time to sell. So it's a good time to buy, and it's a good time to be selling. If you're selling, just think though, where am I going to go?
Yeah,
because
true.
What is the other ongoing thing is inventory. Is there any inventory? And the answer to that, my friend, is not much.
Yeah, it's still low.
It is still pretty low, and things that are listed are still moving very quickly. I think, again, looking back at the end of last year, 26, 27 days on the market was the average in Kosciuszko County. If that's the case, I don't see that turning. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to go unless significant, market event like what we had in 07, 08,
Right.
which we don't want any of that. Although when you've got all the geopolitical stuff that's going on now, prices are rising on everything. Fuel costs, I mean, we're back up $3.20, $3.30 a gallon for fuel here. Where, I watch Squawk Box. I think we've talked off air numerous times, but I watch that in the morning, and the question they put up was, when was the last time fuel prices were below $2 a gallon? Well, I'm thinking, oh man, that's all the way back to 2000. Well, no, it was actually in 2019.
Really?
We were down to like $1.97 a gallon.
Wow.
And here we are today at $3.30
Yeah.
a gallon. So fuel prices are jumped up. Walk through the grocery stores. Things are sold out. Prices are higher on meats. All of that stuff. Inflation is running rampant, and it's riding along in the housing market as well. So the good news is it shouldn't be as bad as what it has been over the last couple of years. We don't expect to see 15 to 20% price appreciation year over year. It's still going to grow. It's still going to go up, which is a good thing. It's a good, healthy thing for the economy. And it's pulling back to closer to what it was before we had all the upheaval in 2008, 2009.
Well, you go back a couple of years and we had these prices that were increasing by, 14, 15% per year. And I heard a lot of people talking like, well, prices are going to decrease. They're going to go down. They're going to drop. That's not happening.
No, it's not. And I think that folks that are looking for that to happen are going to continue to look for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate that's going to change. If you look historically, right? And history repeats itself, I know, but we had that one significant event. We're still talking about it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we are.
here we are 14 years later, 13, 14 years. It's amazing to think about that, but here we are talking about the fact that we had a crash that long ago. What does that really do to our lives today? How does that really impact what we do today? Now, it gives us, you can't erase history, or you shouldn't erase history, because that's still out there, but the likelihood of that happening in 2022, slim and none. So if you are a buyer that's considering and thinking, hey, I'm going to wait till prices drop before I buy, I don't think it's a good strategy.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. But what we do know about 2022, or what we think we know, is that rates are going to trend up.
They are going to trend to go up, and we've already seen that. I mean, since the start of the year, we're now at 3.5, 3 3/4 as far as 30-year fixed mortgage for somebody with really good credit. That's the interest rate they can get on a mortgage, where back last January it was below 3%, or around 3%. So January 2021, 3%. January 2022, 3.5, 3 3/4. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it can make a significant difference in the amount that you are able to finance.
Okay.
For a buyer.
Yeah.
So is that going to slow the market off? I think it will slow it down, but people are examining their why. They still need to move. There's still more people that want to buy than want to sell.
Yeah.
And until that changes, the market's still going to be hot and prices are still going to go up.
Okay, we're going to talk about best ways to win. Coming up here after the break, you're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes, and we're talking about the best ways to win in 2022.
Yeah, and the reason we're having this discussion is, as a buyer, if you've examined your why and decided, hey, I want to buy, how do I win? How do I get my offer accepted? Any of those things? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the first step is you have to understand the market is still going to be moving fast.
Yeah.
Homes that are coming on are going to sell very quickly. So what's the best way to offset that? Have an agent working for you, sending you listings as soon as they hit the market, not your aunt, not your uncle, not the people that you work with, because realistically, and if you hear about it 2 days after it's hit the market, it's probably already got offers going. Or at least, you're behind the 8 ball to get it. May not have an offer accepted, but they're already in that process.
But if you're just stepping up to the game to say, hey, you know what, I'm ready to buy a house, okay? So you've been hearing that the real estate market has been hot. You've been hearing about it for the past couple of years, but you really don't know the real estate market
until you're in it.
Until you're in it.
Right.
Yeah, until you're in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, first step, get an agent, have a relationship with that agent, have somebody looking out for you to make sure that you get notification as soon as something comes on. The next thing is, and maybe it's too late if you're jumping in today, but it's never too late, get your pre-approval. Be ready to buy.
Yes.
Be ready. Don't walk in the door for a brand new listing or call an agent and say, hey, I saw this house, I'm thinking about going to look at it, I'm thinking about getting financing, because the reality is, you go look at that house, it's going to be gone very quickly, and it may be the one you love. It may be the one that's all for you, and it's not. And this isn't me pushing, hey, you need to buy today, you need to buy today. But the fact is, if you're in the market to buy, you need to be ready, and you need to be decisive.
Yeah.
And that's an ongoing theme we've had, along with affordability.
Oh, yeah.
Be ready, all of that stuff. You can't go home and think about it. You just can't. And it's terrible to have buyers in that position. Believe me, because I've had to counsel, they're like, well, I don't know, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? Hey, think objectively, does this house fit a majority of our needs? There is no perfect house. There's not going to be one that checks all the squares. Now, maybe there are, but highly unlikely. The odds are you're going to have to do some forgiveness one way or the other. Maybe it doesn't have a fenced yard, but everything else in the house suits you.
Right.
Well, you can always add a fenced yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can always make those modifications. Is there a cost to it? Absolutely. But only you can decide if that's important to you. So, have that agent get your pre-approval, be ready to go. And then when you go out and look, be decisive about that. So, what's the next step? So we went out, we looked, we found the one we want. you and so did everybody else that's in
Right.
that price range.
Yeah.
Right, that is looking at that house. I mean, I've been through more, I call them showing carousels. When you walk in, something hits the market and there's cars, there's agents lined up,
Yeah.
to show those properties. Now, it doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens pretty frequently, especially when you're in that $200,000 to $300,000 price range. I mean, that's the market today.
Mm-hmm.
So, you show up, you like it, you want to write an offer on it. What have I always said?
Put your best foot forward.
Put your best foot forward. And, then I was thinking, well, what does that really mean? So, great, Mark, you're telling me put my best foot forward. What does that mean to me? Well, it isn't always about price. There are other things that can impact that.
Okay.
But write your best offer as far as price goes. Do not expect to get a counteroffer. If the seller has got restrictions or requirements in the MLS and the notes, and your agent will know that,
Okay.
follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to jam it. Don't try to be the bully that drives your offer through, because you know what? They've probably got other offers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I had one last week that I put on the market. We ended up getting 7 offers for it, but the first day we had out there, the seller wanted it left open until a Sunday. They were going to review any offers on Sunday. It hit the
Okay.
market Thursday afternoon. Had an agent write an offer on Friday and gave us a 5-hour response time. Sent me the offer, at 4 o'clock. Said by 9 o'clock tonight, we want you to answer. And you know what the answer was?
Nothing.
Reject it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because the seller was, and they had included items that the seller had excluded. So, what's your best offer? Try and comply, if it works for you, with
Yeah.
what the seller is asking for. Don't try to negotiate within that.
Mm-hmm.
The seller has told you what they want in order to sell their house,
Mm-hmm.
so comply with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, write your best offer. That means try and follow what the seller is asking for, if it works for you. I'm not saying, bend over and do whatever they tell you to do,
Mm-hmm.
but try to write your best offer first, comply with what they've asked for, best price, best terms, all of those things, and you should win long term.
Okay.
You should.
Yeah. It's a tough. I mean, it is a seller's market.
Yes.
It has been a seller's market for
Yes.
for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But these are tips to help out a buyer.
Help a buyer.
Help a buyer out.
And we get, well, you're supposed to represent me. Well, I'm trying to represent you, and representing to me means you winning.
Helping
and
you
getting
win.
the house that you. So that's the advice I'm giving.
Mm-hmm.
Do I take that myself? Well, I'm not buying today. So
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, that's what the market is like today. So I'm trying to give advice so you adjust to what the market conditions are.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Good information. All right. Your contact information.
Sure. Website's lakes-realtors.com, 574-834-1233. Check us out on YouTube. We're posting it. We're starting to get a few more subscribers. We're getting a few more views. Every week it's going up. Get out there, subscribe to the channel.
Yep. See our mugs on TV. All right. Very good. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.